let's be honest, running a large language model on your own computer sounds incredibly complicated, right? You think about all the setup, the crazy hardware requirements, the endless configurations. It feels like something reserved for top-tier engineers. But what if that whole barrier just disappeared? What if a tool existed that made running powerful AI on your own machine almost as easy as installing any other app? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into. In this explainer, you're going to get the complete cheat code for local AI. We'll break down what Ollama is, why it's become such a game changer, and walk through the super simple commands that put all this power right onto your desktop. We'll even cover what you can build with it and the common mistakes to avoid, so you can get started frustration-free. You're watching AI Tech Cheat Code, where complex tech becomes simple. To really get why a tool like Ollama is such a big deal, we first have to understand the world before it. Let's talk about the standard way of using AI through the cloud and the fundamental problems that you run into almost immediately. So, on one side, you've got the big players, the proprietary cloud models like GPT and Gemini. You can think of these as black boxes. They are incredibly powerful, for sure, but they're owned by massive companies. To use them, you have to access them through an API, you pay for every single use, and all of your data gets sent straight to their servers. You're basically just renting their AI. But then on the other side, you have this amazing world of open source models. Here, everything is public: the architecture, the code, even the model weights, which are kind of like the AI's brain. This means anyone, including you, can download them, change them, and run them. That's not just freedom, that's ownership. But, and this is a huge but, all that freedom has always come with a massive technical headache. I mean, just imagine trying to run one of these models from scratch. First, you've got to wrestle with the model weights themselves. These are enormous files, often gigabytes in size, that you have to download, store, and then figure out how to optimize for your exact computer. Then, you suddenly have to become a memory management genius, trying to perfectly configure your RAM and your GPU's VRAM so the whole thing doesn't just crash. And right when you think you've got it, bam, you're hit with a wall of compatibility issues and error messages that make no sense. It's a deeply frustrating, totally manual process with zero safety net. And this really gets to the heart of the problem. In theory, these incredible open source AIs are free for anyone to use. But in practice, the actual process of getting one running has been the single biggest pain point, scaring off tons of developers and curious minds. All that friction created a massive need for a much, much better way. And that is exactly where Ollama steps in. It is the elegant solution designed from the ground up to eliminate all of that friction we just talked about. Think of it as your own personal, local AI engine. So, what is it really? In the simplest terms, Ollama is a tool that lets you download, run, and manage powerful open-source language models like Llama 3 or Mistral directly on your own machine. It takes that entire mountain of technical difficulty and just flattens it into the ground. It's built to make the ridiculously complex process of local AI feel astonishingly simple. This visual really shows you the magic trick. On the left, you see all that chaos we talked about. The model weights, the memory configuration, the compatibility nightmares. That's the before. Then, in the middle, you have Ollama. It acts as this clean, simple layer that just handles all of that complexity for you behind the scenes. And that leaves you, the user, over on the right with a dead simple interface where you can just focus on using the AI. The best way to think about it, Ollama is like the WhatsApp for open source AI. You don't have to think about encryption or network protocols. You just type and send. Ollama does the same thing for running these models. And when you simplify things this much, you unlock some truly incredible benefits. The biggest one, no surprise, is privacy and data control. Because the model runs entirely on your hardware, your sensitive data never ever leaves your computer. Then you've got offline access and cost savings. There's zero network lag, it works on a plane, and once you have the computer, it's free to run. No more watching an API bill climb higher and higher. And of course, the simple setup makes this whole world accessible to everyone, not just a handful of specialized engineers. Okay, so theory is great, but how does this actually look in practice? Let's get our hands dirty. You are about to see just how ridiculously simple it is to get a cutting-edge AI model running with just 2 commands. Step 1, you need to get the model onto your machine. You just open up a terminal and type Ollama pull, and then the name of the model you want, say Llama 3. That one command tells Ollama to do all the heavy lifting. It goes out, finds all the correct files, downloads them, and puts them exactly where they need to go on your computer, handling all the optimization automatically. All right, once the download is finished, you're ready to actually run it. And the command is just as easy.
Ollama run, followed by the same model name. What this does is it takes those model files that are sitting on your hard drive and loads them into your computer's active memory, your RAM, and your GPU's VRAM. This is what makes the model live and ready to start thinking.
And that's literally it. Once that command finishes, your terminal prompt changes, and you can just start typing and talking to the AI. You ask your question, hit enter, and the model generates a response right there. The whole thinking process, the inference, it's all happening entirely on your local machine. No internet, no cloud, just pure local AI power at your fingertips. By the way, if a little light bulb just went off and you're starting to see how powerful and simple this is, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this explainer. Now, this is the point where most people get the basics but miss the bigger picture. They understand the commands, but they don't fully grasp what this new capability actually unlocks. So let's shift gears from the how to the what now and explore what you can really build with this. So let's look at a few real-world situations where running a model locally with Ollama isn't just a neat party trick, it's actually the smartest and sometimes the only choice. First up, let's talk about privacy. How do you build an AI assistant that is truly 100% private, where you can be absolutely certain your information isn't being logged or used to train some other model? Well, imagine you need to analyze some really sensitive stuff. Personal financial records, confidential company strategy docs, maybe private legal contracts. If you use a cloud AI, you have to upload that data to a third-party server, creating a huge privacy risk right away. With Ollama, that entire risk just vanishes. Because the LLM is running on your own machine, your data never leaves your computer. You can analyze your most secret information with total peace of mind. All right, next up. What if your app absolutely needs to work no matter what? How can you build AI-powered applications that function literally anywhere, with or without an internet connection? Think about a scientist in the middle of a remote jungle, or a writer trying to work on a 12-hour flight. Cloud-based AI is completely useless in those situations. It needs a stable internet connection, and even then you have to deal with network lag. Ollama completely breaks that dependency. Since the model is local, your AI tools work perfectly offline and give you answers instantly with zero network delay. And for our third use case, let's talk directly to the developers out there. How can you prototype, test, and build new AI-powered features as fast as possible, and crucially, without racking up a massive bill? This is an absolute game changer for anyone who writes code. The problem is simple. When you're building an AI app, hitting a cloud API over and over again costs money. Every single test, every bug fix, every little experiment adds to your bill and slows you down. Ollama is the solution. It gives you a free, instantaneous, and totally local environment for rapid prototyping. You can build out entire features and test thousands of prompts without making a single paid API call. Okay, so you're probably excited and ready to download this thing right now. That's awesome. But before you do, let's go over the 3 most common mistakes that beginners make so that your first experience is a huge success. The number 1 mistake, and it's not even close, is having totally unrealistic expectations about your hardware. People download this and expect to get the lightning-fast speed of a massive cloud model like GPT-4, but on their 5-year-old laptop. The reality is, your performance, how fast the AI generates words, is 100% tied to your local hardware. A powerful GPU with lots of VRAM is going to be fast. An older machine using only its main RAM is going to be much, much slower. You have to match your expectations to your machine. Mistake number 2 is not understanding the trade-off between a model's size and the resources it needs. You see, a smaller model, maybe one with 2 billion parameters, might only take up a couple of gigabytes of space and run pretty well on 8 gigs of RAM. But a larger, more capable 8 billion parameter model is going to need way more storage and a lot more RAM to run without choking. So the lesson is, don't just grab the biggest model you can find. Pick one that hits that sweet spot between performance and what your system can actually handle. And finally, a super common point of confusion is thinking that Ollama is the AI. It's not. Ollama is the runtime, the model manager. It's the sophisticated engine that makes it possible to run the AI on your computer. But the actual intelligence, the quality of the answers you get, that all depends on which open source model you choose to run, whether it's Llama 3 or Mistral or something else. Think of it this way. Ollama is the engine, but the model you choose is the car. All right, let's wrap this all up with your final Ollama cheat code. We saw how running open source models used to be total chaos, and how Ollama simplifies that entire mess into just 2 commands.
By doing this, it solves the biggest problems with cloud AI: privacy, cost, and latency, by putting you in complete control. But remember, with great local power comes great hardware responsibility. Your performance is tied directly to your computer's RAM and VRAM. And always remember the distinction. Ollama is the powerful engine, the runtime that makes it all go. The intelligence, the personality, that comes from the specific AI model you decide to put inside it.
The incredible power to run sophisticated AI is no longer locked away in some distant data center. It's right here, on your own desktop. The barrier to entry has been completely shattered. So now that you have the cheat code for local AI, what are you going to build first?